session to order and ask if everybody would join us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. I'm gonna do that without hurting my knee, and I can't always stand up. Okay, we have before us the adoption of the agenda and approval of the minutes. Everybody had an opportunity to review those. I have a motion that they be adopted.
So moved.
Second. Motion and a second. Any other corrections, deletions, or additions? Hearing none, all those in favor signify with that. Thank you very much. All right, we'll move right on into student and staff recognition.
All right, Mr. Moore, I'm going to turn it over to you.
All right, we're going to recognize our football team, regional champions, and state runners up. We're going to do it by grade.
Oh, you're going to go by grade?
By grade. Start with our sophomores. Coach Nolan will speak about each group.
Okay. This is the sophomore.
I know. Wow, a big group.
Wow.
As I mentioned, 8 AAA regional champions and state runner-up. And our sophomores, coaches, I'll turn it over to Coach Nolan.
Well, we appreciate the opportunity to be here. We got a good number of our coaches. A lot of them have younger kids that they got to pick up. Couldn't get that worked out today, but we'll start with Coach Brown. They'll introduce themselves, and the kids will go around. This is our sophomore class, part of them. It's a really large class.
This is a large class.
We got a good turnout. These guys don't, most of them don't get to drive, so we're lucky to have this many of them here. So, Coach Brown.
I'm Coach Brown, I coach the offensive line.
I'm Justin Meyer, coach of running back.
Ezra Crumley, I coach the tight ends. I'm Matt Cage, I coach the inside linebacker.
Detroit Hunter, I coach the defensive line.
Merrick Kriegel, I'm the special teams coordinator. Tom Parker, defensive coordinator.
Javian Smith, defensive line.
Tell them what number you are.
64.
Cortland Taylor, your offensive line, 7.
Brent Stevenson, offensive line, 55.
Dylan Barnelli, linebacker, 30.
Linebacker, 19.
Cooper Houston, offensive line, 65. Gavin Simmons, defensive line, 71.
Jamison Walden, tight end, number 42. Chaz Coles, tight end, number 85.
Kai Elder, cornerback. John Dunn, running back, 43.
Sean Fong, wide receiver, 86. Brody Crawley, 30, wide receiver.
Bill Moore, quarterback, 7.
Drake, running back, 48. Braden Tharp, offensive lineman, 71.
Zachary White, D-line, 60.
Joey Black, kicker, 94.
Jacob Barnelli, cornerback, 37. X Brown, linebacker, number 1.
Logan Dressler, safety, 31.
Good group, got a good future ahead of them. We're excited about talent in this group, and we're working on them for the next 3 years.
Well, thank you. Thank all of y'all for being here, and thank you for what you've done. We've enjoyed watching it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
we're
that's
every
right.
year, and one of the great seasons in the varsity, so you guys learned a lot this year.
Well, that's great. Good. We look forward to it. That's 3 years to watch it. So it's great.
All right, guys, y'all can go out and send the juniors.
Let's give them a round of applause. Two basketball players.
We need some more big ones now.
When they grow up, they're gonna be big.
Yeah.
Were those the sophomore coaches too?
Yeah, I know. I was going to say, they're coming in with everything.
good night.
Keep coming.
We gotta wait.
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
This is our junior class, and it looks like about half of them. Our junior class had 41 players on the team. So, it's a great group. You can see this is where a lot of our big guys are in, and we've got a lot of linemen back that we're excited about. So we'll start with you. You give us your name, number, position.
Tate Drew, number 76, I play center.
Michael Pauly, 73, left tackle.
My name is Dallas Russell, number 22, play running back.
I'm Chance Payne. I'm number 6 and I play corner.
Tyler Rucker, 52, and I play nose guard. I'm Cole Allen, number 90, I play nose guard.
My name is Juan Flores, number 70, left guard.
True Porter, 35, D-line.
Wyatt Gladwell, 28, outside linebacker.
Colton Grant, 13, quarterback.
Darren Pinkard, 21, DN. Latif Kadej, June, 84, wide receiver.
Matt Gaddis, number 26, I play PC.
Dalton Dye, wide receiver, number 17.
Owen Green, number 36, strong safety.
Jeremiah Lee, number 44, middle linebacker.
Ben Steer, 78, right tackle.
Kay Sheridan, number 41, no linebacker.
Jack Roberts, number 33, wide receiver.
Caleb Sanchez, number 40, play fullback.
David Gillespie, I'm number 32, I play DN.
Jalen Glover, number 20, I'm a corner.
Clifton Williamson, number 75, left side.
That's great. Well, again, as I told the other group, thank y'all for all you do. We enjoy watching you and look forward to another 2 years. Y'all do great. Thank you. We'll get that state championship next year. I'm gonna say, wait, some of them wore their shirt that had the number on the case.
Yeah, that's right. Get nervous.
Brantley, there's a Porter in that group. Is that yours?
No, that's no relation. We're more of the slim kind. No. Quantity or size.
Well,
You repeat it back. That's probably good right there, John Morgan.
All right, once again, it looks like we've got about half of our seniors here. We finished the year with 22. I counted 11 as they walked by me. Very special class. Won 32 games in their 3 years of varsity football. Not a lot of senior classes can say that. They won 3 straight region championships, and they've done an unbelievable job of showing those guys that are just in here what it takes to be successful and how to conduct themselves both on and off the field. So we're going to miss this group a lot of special guys that were part of this senior class. And we're very grateful for your commitment and everything that you've done to make Jefferson proud and how you represent our program. So we'll start with you, Avery, and just say your name, number, and position.
I'm Avery Lynch. I'm number 10. I play corner.
I'm Lorenzo Martin.
I'm number 45, and I play fullback.
I'm Gavin Markey, number 9, and I play quarterback.
Todd Oldesby, number 50, center. Lex Beeling, number 57, D-line. Miles Price, 68, guard.
Cofield, 99, Dominic Romelli, number 11, I play safety. Joshua Paulson, 47, I play fullback.
Brett Hemphill, number 5, John Morgan Kenny, number 66, guard.
Very good. And you had some players that had individual honors in this group, didn't you, Coach?
Yeah, 2 all-state players, I think. Several of them made all-region. Very special group in a lot of ways. More than anything, just leadership. They're a great group of leaders. Our future's in good hands because of the examples y'all set.
Oh, good. Thank you. And we appreciate all you've done, and we We enjoyed it, and we wish you all the best in whatever you take up next year. So I know you'll do well. Take care.
We'll see them in graduation.
Thank you, Coach.
Oh, we just finished. Don't worry.
Yeah, trying to see you.
I figured that Marshall, the quarterback, is right behind him.
All right, this next group is our varsity competitive cheerleading team. They finished third in the state, and I'll turn it over to Coach Cecilia.
I just want to thank y'all for having us here today and to recognize these girls for all that they've done this season. And I also wanted to thank Ms. Hardy and all the administration just to support us and guide us through the season. It really goes to show how much you care about us and everything. As far as for the season, it being my first year at Jefferson, it just really exceeded my expectations for what I had for this team. They finished third in state, and I think that says enough for themselves. Some people don't even get to do that in their entire high school experience. So I'm really proud of all of them and all that they did this season. And yeah, so that's really all I have to say. I'm super proud of all of y'all.
Introduce them or have them introduce themselves.
Okay. Maddie, you want to start?
I'm Maddie Carter, and I'm a senior.
I'm Braylon Pruitt, and I'm a senior.
I'm Ansley Herring, and I'm a senior.
I'm Nicole Tavares, and I'm a senior.
I'm Phoebe Dunn, and I'm a junior. I'm Noelle Bowens, and I'm a junior. I'm Katie Van Bottom, and I'm a junior. I'm Sophie Mason, and I'm a junior. I'm Madison Dillinger, and I'm a sophomore. I'm Carly Nixon, I'm a sophomore. I'm Ruth Orton, and I'm a sophomore. I'm Savannah Converto, and I'm a freshman. I'm Edie Hemphill, and I'm a freshman. I'm Riley Johnson, and I'm a freshman. I'm Mackenzie Woodruff, and I'm a freshman.
And we have what? Three.
Yeah.
Your basketball player. Here's about an internship. Oh, and I'm Ginger Kelly. I'm at JES, and I'm assistant coach for the first year for these guys, and also game day.
I'm Cassidy Hunter. This is my first year at JES with kindergarten, and I'm head coach middle school, and I assist varsity.
That's good. Well, it sounds like y'all had a great year. And we congratulate you all of them. And cheerleading.
Oh, I thought you were asking about. No, cheerleading. We didn't win. We got third, almost.
Well, I mean, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
They went from the weekend before they got 14. We had a little, couple little mishaps. Then we got 14. We were scared we weren't going to make it to state, but then we made it. And
got third. Yeah. Absolutely. Congratulations to all of y'all and best wishes
Thank you.
for the year to come and for the seniors. Good luck in whatever you do.
Thank you.
I know you'll do well. Thank y'all. Let's come on. You can go. That's all right.
Let's follow it.
All right, and then our third and final recognition, I'll turn it over to Mr. Parker. So, comes in, he'll
All right, we'd like to recognize a group that became a part of our CTA advisory committee this year through Ms. Drew, connecting with them, and they came out and was participated in our advisory committee, and they told us about an organization they do, And I'm going to let Mr. Mark explain that company and what they do, and then we'll let each of our groups talk about what they got next. So, Mark, you come up.
Thank you, I appreciate it. I'm Mark Lackey, my wife Ann and I have a not-for-profit called Hunter Smart Kids. Through donations that come to us, it gives us opportunity to reach out into our community and help the kids to start making career decisions earlier than the week before the race.
That's good.
Okay?
That's
So
a good plan.
think about that.
Yeah.
And we proposed that to this group, and the only reason we're here is because of Christy's group. She reached out to us in a meeting that we had down in Jackson County and said we could use some help. And then teachers and educators reached out to us individually, proposed programs to us, and we're happy to support them. So, one, we got a request. I have to refer to my notes.
It's all right. I know how that is.
Yes. In the healthcare shortage area, to be able to try to help with that. You go to the doctor, you're trying to schedule something. Right now, there's 34,000 jobs going unfilled in healthcare. There's 8,000 doctor shortages. So we're hoping somebody in here that's going to benefit from the skeletons and the blood pressure cuffs and the buzzers all can take what they're going to learn here and go out in the community. And then when you and I need help, years from now, we call and we can get an appointment where we have trouble with that. The other area we got reached out to in the ROTC, and we have a big heart for that, was to provide some equipment for drill. And the drill program is great because it helps to increase confidence. It helps to teach their leadership skills. There's a lot of things that they learn in drill. Some of these kids are going to go on into the military, but if not, we're going to take their skills out into our community and support and help us on a ongoing basis. There's 106 kids who can benefit from the drill equipment that we're providing this year. It'll last probably 10 years. 1,100 kids are going to be able to benefit through that year. And then in the healthcare, retired Major Brian once, and then through Laura Wilburn, through the healthcare leaders, she's projecting about 220 kids per semester. When we look at making an investment, it's not a one check that helps one person. It helps a lot. So today I've got a check made out to the schools for the benefit of the healthcare sciences program, $6,397.73. Thank you. We had a meeting with your whole group, and I talked to other department representatives. We spent a lot of time talking with Tom, and thank for his guidance through this. And we're hoping that y'all can encourage some of them to reach out for some addition. But Major Watson reached out and asked for help, and I'm giving him $3,878. That, and there's notes on the back of there. We're just pleased to help. We don't live right here in your community, but whatever these kids, when they come out of this program or these programs, they're going to benefit you, me, all of us, our kids, our entire area, and our state. So we hope they do stay in the community. Thank you for the time today.
No, it's ours would be thanking you.
Yes,
And
thank
we
you.
thank you very much. It's
Well,
great to
also,
benefit these
another thing
kids.
that we had a guest speaker day that Ms. Drew organized where each period had a different focus. And, one was financial investments, one was financial planning, and then one of them was interviews. And Miss Ann came in and spent an hour and a half with that group of students that came up and did a fantastic job. Everybody bragged on her. And so not just monetary benefits, and that's what we always tell our advisors, yes, we love money, we'll take all that we can get, but we also love that because those are skills that all our students need as well. And so we appreciate her coming out and working with Zach also to support us. But now, I told Mr. Lackey when he first came in, he had this MC over there. And we love Madison County, but I said, would you wear a Jefferson one if we gave it to you?
I said before, yes, I'd be happy to.
So I'm going to give him a Jefferson one.
You put it on right now?
Absolutely. But as we do this, if Major or Laura want to speak real quick, just to say something about the gift, I'd love for them to have that opportunity.
Yes, sir. Like Coach Martin said, this is going to be very beneficial. We actually right now go to the MEPS, that's a recruiting station in Atlanta. Major Milan Patel, who graduated from Jefferson in 2009, if I'm not mistaken. The drill program helped him. He's the director of operations there. And fortunately, I got to go out to Albuquerque, New Mexico this past week, and I've been to Hawaii off and on for the past 4 years because another one of our cadets, who's my oldest daughter, she benefited from the program. And this is our group commander, Ellie Larson, and this is our deputy group commander, Thousand Beauty.
Please.
You too, and thank you so much for the donations.
I know you put it to good use. And the skills you're learning and what y'all are learning, these are not skills that AI are going to replace.
That's right.
Think about that. You read about all the AI's jobs that are going to be taken over. Y'all are going to have skills that AI can. Good. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Ms. World?
I brought 3 coastal officers with me today, and McKinley Parham.
Hi, I'm McKinley Parham. I'm the Secretary of Health Occupational Students of America, and I just want to say on behalf of HOSA, thank you so much to Mr. Lackey and Mrs. Lackey for our grant and providing us with the learning materials to help promote the healthcare pathway and just to further educate students in our field.
Our future's in y'all's hands.
That's right.
And I see a bright future. So thank you.
Thank you.
So I guess we'll be like a nursing ceremony here.
I mean,
That was the first thing. I live in Madison County. We support Madison County High School, and I'm involved, and I'm both involved there quite a bit. And so I got the MC for the contributions we made to the school system there from the principal at the high school, and I'm glad.
I really hope I get it.
I'm greedy, and I'm sorry.
And there's some all over the United States.
Yeah, we travel a lot. So.
That's great.
And it's an awesome opportunity for us to have a conversation. About who we do, who we are.
Now we need to have more pictures made with the correct lapel.
Pleased and proud to have you.
Thank you, sir. We're proud of what you've done and what these students will do with the gift that you have provided.
And thank you, Kristen, for reaching out in the first place and coming to that first kickoff.
Well, it was Kay Wilson, one of the work-based learning coordinators at Jackson County, that coordinated, just brought all of us together. So I love how the teamwork and how we realize, we're helping students all across the county. And so then I just said, hey, we'll come to our advisory committee meeting. You can meet all of our teachers. And I knew they would have great ideas of ways that y'all could help. And so we appreciate you. Yes, thank you.
Thank you. And we can keep getting donations, and we can keep providing opportunities like we did today.
That's very good. Thank you very much, sir. And again, thank you for all you've done for us and what these students will make you proud of what they do with what you gave them.
Well, thank you. And I have some lapel pins from our Smart Cares that we're going to hand out so you all have something to remember like I do.
All right.
So in here, I've got pins. I also have our newsletter that we send out every year about August. It lists some of the things that we've done. And in those newsletters, I'm going to leave some copies of it. I'd like for you all to look at it and see that. It lists about 800 and some kids that we've been able to assist this last year. And then from that point, though, I have to file a tax return as a not-for-profit, just like everybody else. And I have to list, and we've ended up coming up with a count of 3,800 and some kids that we've reached out to. Like you said, there's 220. You said there's certain, so those are the number of kids that we've reached out and assisted this year. So we're proud of what we're able to do to help these kids. For what you you as educators and guides to this organization and to the system. We appreciate it.
Well, thank you again, and let's give him a round of applause.
Thank y'all.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Wasn't you applying for the grant?
We in need of this air conditioning being on. See everybody drawing up.
He asked if you'd be able to turn the air down.
Yeah. Let's turn it down. I thought Russell was in the house. I don't see him.
He had to go.
He usually mans that.
Brian, because you line them up to come back every month.
Yeah. Wow.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Apparently, well, Tom indicated that more people will be asking.
All right. The financial reports, I guess it's up to you.
Yes, that's it. Okay. We're going to start off with our general fund report. You can turn to that one. Believe it or not, we're 50% of our fiscal year complete. Wow. This represents all the revenues and expenditures incurred through December 31st of 2024. And you can see our tax revenue. We're 91% complete, which is fantastic. We've still got 1.8 to go, which, like I said, a lot of that's going to come in the form of I think there's about $1.1 million still sitting for the tax collection, and then, like I said, somewhere around $700,000 for TABT tax. So we're hopeful to hit our target, but we'll keep our eye on that. But Candace's group has done a fantastic job making sure the collections are coming through and how they collected them this year. So I think the online portal helped out tremendously in that regard. Okay. And if you guys would then scroll down to the expenditure section, everything's trending according to plan. So we're right on target as far as our budget's concerned. We ended the month with $16,747,442 as a fund equity balance. And obviously this is like our peak. And from here on out, we trail down until we get to the end of the fiscal year. So we'll take where we are in the month of December, and as we've talked about before, we will have to utilize some of this revenue here to pay for some of our project expenses into our financing as approved. So we have to borrow from ourselves and we will replenish ourselves back. But this reserve will be used to help to support that for about 3 months until that revenue comes in. Okay? All right. We can go now. Any questions? Is it okay? Go to the special revenue report. This report reflects federal grants, pre-K, as well as school nutrition. And like I said, with federal grants, we're always running at least a month to 2 months behind receiving the revenue to our expenditures because everything's requested in arrears. Pre-K is running according to track. Hopefully we can get their funding situated on Ms. Beckel, but they've been they've switched over to a new system, and I think they've had a little bit of difficulties managing that system. So we're hoping that'll get situated to allow us to steady Eddie at this point. And of course, school nutrition, they're over year to date, but they have a fund balance of $1.5 million, so they're using their fund balance to make up the difference at this point.
Kim, what is, when you got listed encumbrances, to me that sounds like a debt. Is that what that is?
It is. It's something that's been purchased or ordered in the cafeteria. That's the ovens, correct? So the combi ovens, they were ordered, and I'm sorry.
That was on a grant.
On a grant, but that's part of the encumbrance sitting here. So those were ordered. So that's represented there. And like in the federal grants, there might be some equipment or, materials or something like that. So we have to reflect those liabilities because we placed the order. We just haven't received the goods or the services yet. So,
And paid for it yet, did you?
yes, that's right. So it's an outstanding liability that's forthcoming.
All right, anybody got any questions about that one?
No.
Hearing none, moving right along.
Okay, we can go to the Splosh detail report. This reflects the past 3 months of expenditures out of your Splosh account, which is the 1 cent sales tax. I just want to draw your attention before we talk about the expenses. In December, we received $549,843, which compared to December of 23 is up 1%. However, we're down when you compare it to the prior month, 562,000. So we continue to keep our eye on that. The interesting note in Splosh is when you compare annually 2023 to 2024, we only grew 1% as a whole, which I shared this with the group earlier. I'm just a little surprised given how many folks are moving into Jackson County and new stores like Publix and so forth. I mean, not that there's a large amount, but there are more shopping opportunities inside the county. So that's a little disappointing to me that we're only seeing about a 1% increase in the Splosh revenue when more folks, population-wise, are moving into the county. So I just think, we hope to encourage people to shop and buy within Jackson County because it benefits not only us but all school systems in the county. And it is a huge financial relief to be able to have Splosh, to be able to piggyback onto the capital light projects that you see before you here, or help pay for debt. So Splosh is an essential part of our financial picture as a school system. So I just want to kind of mention that ahead because we will be talking about the upcoming Splosh referendum that will be coming down the road in March. And the reason for that is that when the Splosh referendum was issued for 2022, which is supposed to be for 5 years, so it would normally expire in 2027, it had a $100 million cap on it. Well, to give you some history, that $100 million cap has been the same cap since it was instituted back in 1997. So we've had the same cap for several years, and we've never hit that cap. Like in the last one before 22, obviously was 2017, and when we finished out 2017, we as a whole in Jackson County did not hit that cap. So it really kind of felt, there, but then obviously when things hit the economy in 21 and 22, it escalated in the growth of, and the other thing that did help us was the online sales. I don't know if you remember historically that the sales tax or non-sales tax would go outside to the entities of where the buildings and they were being shipped from versus the places where the people were buying it at. So online sales has helped our Splosh dramatically. So that's been a good benefit for us. But that's obviously that didn't require necessarily brick and mortar, but your sales online were able to come back into your community. So those were helpful. But going back to the cap, we will hit that cap towards mid of 2026. So which will be before 2027, of course. So that's the reason why we're having to go after and make the request for renewal for Splosh because, we want to be able to continue that sales tax so we can support the growth in the capital life activities, not only in Jefferson, but in the other 2 school systems as well.
Okay, that's good.
All
Anybody
right.
got any questions about that? Or
Yeah.
we do have the Splosh referendum or ELOS referendum we'll talk about later, but we'll talk about that.
Sure. So anyway, you can see that we are reaching the end of our rope at this point. So the end of the month, $282,790, and we have to borrow from our operating account until we get the financing approved. Okay. And if you look at the projection report, this will be updated next month, so that we can focus on January going forward. And that's obviously where you're gonna see we're gonna be in the deficit when it comes to splosh, because we're gonna have to borrow from the general fund itself, and then we'll use the financing to pay ourselves back. Okay. So, then on average, I just, to the right, I always like to show like what our SWASH monthly average is running, and right now, the past 6 months, the average is 538,000. Okay. And then if we can go to the Phase 2 expenditure report, this gives you a big picture on the planned expenditures for the middle school Phase 2. And like I said, you can see that, you know, we've kind of gone through, which if you've been able to go over to the middle school, you'll see that they have the walls up, have the roof on. Mr. Moore will explain that. So obviously there's a lot that has happened. So now kind of like the slowdown in the interior is going to happen. It's kind of like watching the house get built, right? So, but there's a lot of time, you know, obviously a lot of resources, steel material that goes into that. So a lot of heavy hitters, I say. And that's why you'll see then the expenditures start to trail off the next few months. So I just encourage you to look at this when you have a chance, and if you have any questions, please feel free. Okay.
Any questions about that one as far as the middle school Phase 2 project? We're going to move right along.
Okay, and then we'll go to the utility report. Cumulatively, there's nothing really to report in either area other than, you know, middle school in the water area consumption is up, but that's related to the middle school project. I'm sure what's happening with those resources to support what's happening over there. The high school, Brian's going to address an area of potential suspect on the middle school water, and we can talk about that, okay? So those are just kind of two areas that we're just, you know, reviewing.
Anybody have any questions about those? No, thank you very much.
Sure.
Now the transportation report. You got it.
I do. Weaver's not here this afternoon, so I'll cover it real quick. Just a quick look at several items there. Fuel down about $1,000 from last month. You see there the cost of diesel at 346, gas 292, and propane at 265 a gallon. Bus service and repair $2,200 down 5,600 from last month. Total cost of operations 14,404, down almost 5,000 from last month. Transportation department personnel, all of our route drivers and monitors are in place, and we have our sub-driver positions filled. Personnel positions filled. 18 regular ed, 2 sped buses and 1 GNet. Field trips, 29 trips taken care of in December, and 28 so far in Google Sheets for January. We didn't have any recommendations at this time. Just an update on the propane. That infrastructure is being installed, and it's hoping to get everything done. We've got several different entities having a part in this. It makes it take a little bit longer, but we've done everything in the month.
End of the month. End of January? I didn't know which month you were talking about.
Feels like we should have done that.
Yeah. Should have been November. Okay. Thank you. Anybody got any questions about the transportation?
Before we move to the instructional report, Kim had one additional finance update that we needed to provide that we forgot to do.
Yeah. House Bill 581, you know, the opting in or opting out period is before us. That's January 1 through March 1st. And we will be doing our advertisement in the paper the weeks of the 15th and the 22nd. Our first meeting is going to be on the 23rd. I'll send this information out to you. 23rd at 9 a.m. and then the 30th, 9 a.m. and 6 p.m. And then the hopes is we will have a call meeting afterwards at 7 p.m. on that. So just want to give you all an update on that. If you have any questions, we will be sending out some information to share that can explain things kind of in common language for folks and why our position is what it is. So that will be helpful for y'all.
Okay, and so I think you've been told, we do have to have a quorum at each of those meetings, those 3 meetings, so we'll have to be cognizant of that. It can't all be, but just make sure we got 4. I have to tell Brantley to plan a trip some other time. And at this point, I'd like to direct that, Dr. McMullen just take this and run with it and let us know when we need to do what we need to do. So, we'll turn that over to you.
All right, that sounds good. And what we will do, as Kim said, we are finalizing some information to share with our families, with our staff members, with our community members. And so once that's finalized, I'll get that out to you all, see if you have any questions, and then we'll follow that process. And I'll send a reminder about the dates of those meetings.
All right, good.
Okay?
Thank you. Maybe we should have them later in the day if I'm expected to be there. Me and Willie, us retired folks don't get up there.
I know. You know the location. It's early morning. It's in the boardroom. Yes, ma'am.
She said 9 o'clock. Is that early? That's early. That's
I
right.
know. And it's chilly.
Especially when it's
I tell you
cold.
what, if you coffee, I'll serve coffee or hot
Oh.
cocoa. I know. I'll ask that for you.
Find
Yeah,
some
make
of
sure
those
the heat's on,
scones.
Willie. I will. Make sure the heat's on.
You can find some of those scones from the.
No, Savannah, she can hook me up with a sandwich.
Just let me know.
I know. I'll book them for you on the 23rd and the 30th. I'm already down. I'll shoot you an email. So request. Yes. Thank you.
All right.
All right.
It takes a team.
Now instructional report.
Mr. Moore, you got the instructional report
Dr.
also?
Hicks does.
Dr. Hicks does, okay.
All right, we're gonna start with, because we're so proud of our band and, I think they had such a fantastic trip in London. We're gonna start by seeing a short clip of, their performance there. And they went to London and a short party with.
Jody went.
Ready.
Yes. You want one of those? We can get you one of those.
Yes. So that's quite a landmark. Something else interesting about Camden? The first bouncy castle. That's right.
Well, I don't suppose they'll be too bouncy about that.
Well, we've all been to children's birthday parties. We've all seen them. Who knew that they started indeed in Camden? Also, the home of punk rock gave us J.B. Priestley, Mary Shelley, George Bernard. That's getting a glimpse here of Jefferson High School band, the band from Georgia, making their first appearance in London's New Year's Day parade. They are currently somewhere in Philly, I think, by the looks of things, and therefore they'll be with us here giving their performance. Probably well, they're already big, they're in.
Seeing them in the round outside, but they are an instrumental part.
Thank you.
Happy New Year to everyone.
Right, back onto the parade room now. What are we looking at here, Daisy? They do at football games and so much more. Now, who's running into our arena now? This is the Jefferson High School Marching Band. We've seen them quite a bit along the route. I do like their hats. They're very Christmas now. Yes, they are. and keeping the old ears warm, which is the important. uniforms are very different, so I think it's going to be a pretty good band. We have never had them in London before, but I know that their director, Nick Golding, has a close affiliation with our event. No question. He's watched it many years. For many years running, and has wanted to come to it for a long time. So, and they're all excited. You know, he said this is the biggest thing to happen in our community in a long time. Now let's listen to them play. Jefferson High School band there under the direction of Nick Golding, all the way from Jefferson, Georgia.
Yeah, making the crowd feel as cozy as their heads are.
Great band, absolutely super fun. And the kids look like they've really enjoyed themselves as well. The crowd's enjoyed having them here. Anyway, time to get.
Oh, that's great.
Oh, yeah, I promise I was actually just leaving.
And you're like, wait, you're my band.
Well, first of all, it sounded way better live. I'll tell you
Oh,
that.
yeah.
And that was at the end of, they've been marching for, I think it was ended up being an hour and 25 minutes.
Wow.
You know, every day there, it was cold, obviously, but I mean, every day was like super nice and bright. And then the day of the parade, they had to pull all the balloons up the parade because of the high winds. And then the rain dropped, the bottom dropped out at, 30 minutes before we were supposed to step off. So we looked at a bunch of wet rats out there. And so the kids were all standing there huddled up, and I'm looking around. I hadn't seen the parade route yet, so I'm just like, man, this is not worth it at all. I cannot believe I did this to these kids. And I felt like I was really feeling terrible. And then we hit the parade route, we came around the corner, and it was just wall to wall. People was packed. And so it was awesome. I mean, these people were so excited to see our kids. And this already tell you, they were high fiving the staff. The kids were waving Happy New Year. People were screaming Happy New Year back. It changed. Like, it would be super open, and at one point, Mr. Pace was like, because he saw, like, one of the medians there. The kids didn't see it, so he's, like, trying to funnel them in. Yeah, very narrow at points, for sure. We had a student who, like, 2/3 of the way through, like, we were standing still. She's like, I can't use the bathroom. I can't make it. So he had to run and get her off the break, her off the back end. It was exciting and a lot happening. Yeah. One of the things in guard flag, I'm really dreading them coming back because, you know, they were soaking wet. Donkey Breed Society was like 4 groups in front of us. So Mike was telling me that, like, those flags were swooping through it, and like, he was seeing bits of it just flying. He said when he was rolling the flags up and back to the bags, they were still green. But no, Merry Christmas. But we'll absolutely be one of the hats. They're with all of our stuff, so when they get back, we had a couple extras. So.
Only if they're not packed with the flags.
Oh, yeah, they love that. I was surprised to hear that. But no, I mean, yeah, it was great. I think the kids felt really great about it too, but they were exhausted. We had a 5-minute parade sequence. They must have played 40 times throughout that parade route. And at one point, there was this motocross stunts international group in front of us, like bike flips and stuff. So we were having to just stand still and wait. So they had throughout the route, they had different VIP stands, and they had different like celebrities or local celebrities announcing. So they tried to have a cheer battle between us and the Miami School of the Arts who were behind us. But we didn't know any cheers, they didn't know any cheers. So we started playing stance tunes at the you know, ESPN and all that stuff. And they loved that. So, but by the end, our kids were definitely exhausted. So.
Well, it looked like the Diamond J was well presented.
Yeah. Yes, we tried our best with that for sure.
Yeah,
that's great.
They look really good, and like I said, I've seen some other clips also. There's a lot on I guess it's on the internet somewhere.
Parents.
The thing that surprised you really was like the production value of all that. I mean, it was professional. It was top notch. And that's what the kids sense that.
I like this one, the one announcer. She said, so I tried to look up Jefferson High School, and she said in Google AI, like, there were so many thousands that I couldn't find it. So I Googled it, of course, and it was like over 26,000.
Yeah.
We were the best.
So we were the best. They're obviously the best.
Yeah. That's great.
So, but you also tell us a little bit more about the rest of the trip. I saw a lot of the parents posted on
Yeah, it was great. It was, I mean, sorry, it's already stayed behind with the sick kids. So like the part, I heard it was the worst part, but honestly, the best part was going to Oxford. I mean, it was the kids got to tour. One of the oldest, I think they said it's like the 3rd oldest university in the world. They got to tour all the different colleges within Oxford. The city has the original city walls. We found this. I don't want to get this wrong, so and I'm so sorry to pull out my phone in the middle of talking. We went to this place called the Turk, which is like it's a pub, but we took the kids there for fish and chips, and it's right outside of the city walls because they back in like 12th century when this thing was built, they couldn't do gambling or anything like within the city walls. But Elizabeth Taylor, Richard Burton, Steve Hawking, David Bowie, Thomas Hardy, Emma Watson, Ben Kingsley, Margaret Thatcher, Bill Clinton, David Cameron, Boris Johnson, Oscar Wilde, Ernest Hemingway, all 8 in this club where our kids were sitting there and they're looking at the signs, seeing all these people waiting there. Again, it's been there since the 12th century. We took them to Windsor Castle, where they got to tour the city of Windsor and see the castle. Some of the kids went and saw a production of Wicked, which they loved. Some of them saw Guys and Dolls, which was amazing, definitely better than Wicked. They did the London Eye, so it was like, it was 4:30, 5 o'clock in the evening, but it was dark, so they got to see the entire city of London from the top of the London Eye. They got to experience riding the tube and navigating that. We did some overground busways as well, so I mean, it was really just a whirlwind trip. They got to do so much.
And there's, you're at Christ Church College.
Yes. Christ Church College, and so they got to see, they toured that, they saw the cafeteria.
That's where the Hogwarts or Harry Potter.
Well, in the cathedral in there, the chapel, I mean, there were graves from the 1100s. The original, I think, all the work that was done in the ceiling was handcrafted in the 14th century. They saw Queen Elizabeth's tomb while they were there, and the tomb. And Dumbledore. And Henry VIII. They got to see Henry VIII's tomb.
When all those celebrities were written on the wall.
Yeah, on the wall, there's a board where they just.
Miss Hardy added her name to that.
Well, she didn't get to go.
Oh, I'm sorry.
She just added more responsibility. We definitely appreciate her sacrifice. Well, actually, she let me know that too. I did feel really, really bad.
Well, it does sound like a wonderful trip, and I hope the students enjoyed it and will look upon it as for what it really was intended to be, a cultural experience in a different country.
Yeah, I think they definitely appreciate it, and I really do think they represent the community very, very well.
Right. Thank you for all you do.
Thank you.
All right.
All right, so we have 2 calendar options for the 2025-2026 school year that were presented to staff before Christmas, and they voted on those. This calendar that received the highest vote will be an action item for you guys to vote on later in this meeting. The spring board retreat, we are, as you all know, we are making application for you to be part of the Excellence in Governance Institute, which is new for GSBA. And because we are making that application, we are recommending that we do a 1-day retreat in March for our spring retreat. And that is because the retreat would fall on March the 14th. And on the day before that, which is when we usually start our board retreat, you would have the first day of that institute in Lawrenceville. So we're recommending that we just go with that 1 day. We'll get you in there about 6 a.m. and out by 9 that night.
Willie won't be there.
No, I think
I'm not up there. Nor me either, woman.
We do recommend that, so go ahead and put that on your calendars if that date works for everybody. We can have discussion about it. The next thing you see on the report there are the spring assessment windows. I know that we just started the spring semester, but those are just information for you guys so that you know those are windows set by the state, and then we pick the particular days within those windows for each of the schools and the assessments that they have to administer. We have, if you look around numeral 5, we have been named, both JES and JA have been named Title I Distinguished Schools. To be a Title I school, you qualified for that by your free and reduced lunch status. And to be distinguished means that out of all of those Title I schools in the state of Georgia, you scored in the top 5% in those ELA and mathematics assessments. So for the 6th year in a row, both schools will receive this award. So we're very, very excited about that. Then next you see we have a College and Career Readiness Performance Index. Remember that's CCRPI. We have that meeting coming up in January. But in December we had what's called our instructional rounds with our building admin, where we go in, instructional services goes into the schools, has meetings with we have meetings with the admin and go review their data, make some instructional adjustments at that time. Then in January, we follow that with our CCRPI meeting, which is when instructional services will meet with principals to discuss staffing needs for the upcoming school year. Start thinking about those instructional support needs as well. We have pre-K registration approaching. It opens on January 21st. It closes on March 4th. Then we also have our next step in the strategic planning process with GSBA. We have we're in the process of getting our planning team together. That consists of lots of people. We will have students on that team, we'll have parents, community members, and we'll have both Ronnie and Brantley have agreed to serve on that planning team with those stakeholders. That meeting will be in February. We don't have the exact date yet, but it's an all-day meeting that GSBA, that team will lead for our next process. And then if you will go ahead and put on your calendars February 24th, that's when the Star and Teacher of the Year banquet will be held. It will be at the Jefferson Civic Center, which is where it's been the last several years. It begins at 6, I think it ends around 8. And then we have enrollment updates and technology updates that Ms. Story will do both of those.
Okay, so you'll see our enrollment update. You'll see day 10. We have that on there as well as day 89. And day 89 was the last day of the first semester, and typically we end the first semester on day 90. If you remember, we lost a day to the hurricane. And then, Brian, you kind of scroll down to the bottom. And then I also have today's information there for you. So on our 10th day, we had 4,270 students enrolled. On the last day of the first semester, it was at 4,279. And then today's enrollment is 4,284. We had 16 students withdraw at the end of the semester. We have picked up 23 new enrollments. And you'll see I have a number there. It says new pending enrollments. Those are the ones that have applied, and we're working through their registration process and packet, requesting transcripts if they're a high school student. Some of them, they go ahead and fill out the registration, but they don't want their child to start till Monday. So you'll see that number is 11, but by the time we got to the end of the day today, it's actually 13. So our registrars have been extremely busy with withdrawals and new enrollments.
So those 13 would not be included in the 4,284. Is that correct?
Correct.
Yeah.
The 23 is included, and then of course the withdrawals have also been backed out of that number.
Okay.
So that's the
Anybody have any questions about that? Where you gonna put them? Is that the question?
Hopefully they're sprinkled in nice little packages,
Yes.
right?
They are
Right.
Like they always come, right?
They always come that way, right?
They do. And then for technology, of course, it is E-rate season. And remember, I mentioned to you guys before that we did apply for the cybersecurity pilot program through E-rate. We still have not heard anything from them. They're looking through all of those applications. They have $200 million earmarked for that 3-year pilot program. So I've been checking the application here and there to see if there's any stats. I have not heard a word on that. But I'm also working on applying for E-rate for infrastructure needs at the middle school with the new construction. So we'll be hoping to utilize E-rate to pay for new switches and things like that for our new baseball.
Okay. $200 million, we just want our fair share.
We sure are very sure. Hopefully they will fit that.
Okay. All right, good. Thank you. Is that all we have?
That's it.
Now you got the facilities report.
Yes, sir. Just to give you a quick update on where we are at the middle school. Talking about the front area, that's admin offices, library, and classrooms there. Getting a lot done, especially over the last several weeks. Walls and utilities, 100% installed. Overhead utilities, 75%. Structural steel at 95%. Metal stud framing, 50%. Roofing, 75%. Exterior windows, 50%. And then brick front and on the side there, 70%. So a lot of progress here. Now it's time we won't see as much progress that we're working inside. We're getting after it. New gym on the back side of the campus. Walls and utilities, 90%. Overhead utilities, 50%. Structural steel at 95%. And bricks at 70% as well. Back there. So things are moving well. Cold weather. This rain may slow them down a little bit, but all indications are things progressing. And this should be hopefully in March. We'll get a position where we might be able to take a tour of that water trees. As Kim said, the JHS water leak that we've been trying to figure out where it is for the last 6 weeks or so. Russell got back from being out in December, and he was able to locate. We have a leak that was located at the high school outside of the old gym. Noticed it in the ground there. It's going to take digging it up. So I told Russell about it yesterday. He'd like to have a long weekend. Maybe here weekends we have a long weekend. So I'll shut off the water. And I'm not sure exactly what we're getting into, so we can do it without students around. So we know there's a leak there. We don't know if it's the only leak that's causing our usage to go up.
Great, thank you. Any questions about that? And you can also see that this is the reason we got to have that SPOS vote. We got to pay for this. Yeah, I had a question about one of the pictures.
Yeah. So appreciate it. The first picture there is the hallway. I believe that is the media center's on the right, the art room's on the left, and it's just the hallway right there. And I have to go out to the new car pickup. So that one, that picture, the second picture there is the art room. Right outside to your left there will be the courtyard there that I have access to. That's going to be a nice big room right there with lots of windows. This is the awning on the side of the building where our student pickup, car pickup will be located. So it's coming along nicely. And then that last picture is back where the gym is, on the side of the gym. There's a lot of progress.
So you laid the brick differently. You did a soldier course instead of a stack the way it normally does.
Yes.
And the block also. Okay. Any other questions or questions about any of the pictures? Hearing none, thank you very much, Mr. Moore. All right, Dr. McMullen, we've got to go into action items here.
Okay, the first one is to approve meeting dates, time and place for the 2025 Board of Education meetings. You have a list attached are the list of dates. All of these will continue to be second Thursday of the month at 4 o'clock here in this in our boardroom. But there were two conflicts. April 10th is the second Thursday of the month, but that falls during spring break, so we moved that one, or we recommend moving that one to the third week. And same situation with the October break. based on the calendar. So we ended up moving that one to the third week as well. So all meetings will be second Thursday of the month at 4 o'clock, with the exception of April and October, and those will end up being on the third Thursday as noted on this list. I know if we're accepted into that Excellence Institute, March 13th could be a conflict, but I'm wondering if they would be, a lot of school districts probably that might participate in that. I wonder if they would give us time to get back for a 4 o'clock meeting. If not, we may have to adjust the time of that meeting once we know if we're selected to participate in the program. Mid-February. Applications due at the end of this month, and then they will notify districts selected by mid-February. Okay, so I'd like to recommend that these be the dates for the 2025 Board of Education meetings, the dates, time, and place.
And I will say, normally we have a conflict with the June conference, but apparently we did not.
We don't. We double check the dates, and we had this past December a conflict with the winter conference, but we didn't. We won't have a conflict there either.
All right, we have the recommendation of the school calendar for the Board of Education meetings for the year 2025. Do I have a motion that be approved?
Motion.
Second. Motion and a second. That'd be quicker over there, guys. Do what? All right, there you go. You got the new year started off right. Any other, I got a motion and a second. Any other questions, concerns? Hearing none, all those in favor signify with that. Thank you very much. So moved.
All right, the next item, it's time to elect the 2025 board officers. You have those listed, the current officers and current committees. So, Mr. Hopkins, I'll turn it over to you to see if which direction we want to go.
Okay, does anybody have any objection to being on the committees or the officers offices that they hold? Or any changes you'd like to make? You say that, no changes, yeah, okay. All right, do I have a motion that we adopt these as the board officers for the year 2025?
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. All those in favor signify with that. Thank you. Just railroaded that one right on down.
Brantley, we could have maneuvered him around.
Yeah, that's what he gets for leaving.
That's right.
All right, you got fundraising requests?
Yes, as you know, at the beginning of the year, we have a couple of months, and then this is another opportunity in January for us to approve fundraising requests. They're listed there. The principals have reviewed these, signed off, and I have also reviewed and signed off on the ones listed. You've got each of the 4 schools and then the athletic fundraisers. You may recall that we did add an April approval date, and that's to accommodate some additional mostly athletic, your summer camps and summer activities. But we do have a few that for your review for approval, and I would like to recommend that you approve these requests. And nothing is out of the ordinary. They're pretty similar to what we've done in the past.
I like the strawberry sales.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Do what?
There's a strawberry sale.
Mm-hmm. Good.
My wife will be happy you got the pine straw in there again.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Does anybody have any questions about those? They've been approved by the building's supervisor or the principals and the superintendent. If not, do I have a motion that these be approved?
Motion.
So second. Got a second right there. Motion and a second. Any other questions or concerns? Hearing none, all those in favor signify with that. Thank you.
Okay, now we have declare items surplus. We have a technology surplus list and a small list from the high school. I will high school has some books and a couple of, I think those are basically copy machines, if I'm not mistaken, the Rizzo copiers. And so you've got that listed there for your review. And also the technology surplus, this would be obsolete equipment and some towers. Miranda?
So the technology, you'll notice that is all for schools and equipment that we have in their high school, at the central office. And yes, there are some Chromebooks in here. Those are our aging equipment. We've used parts and pieces to keep our devices moving along. But you remember we replaced devices at the academy, and then this year we're going to do devices at the middle school. And so we're at the high school now, and we're doing the best we can with the equipment we have.
So
these are aging and old equipment that no longer working.
In parts and pieces of Chromebooks, right? They may have a few keys missing or.
Quite a few keys.
Recharging cords, whatever this.
There's probably some charging cords locked somewhere. We keep all the ones that we can use for our newer devices.
Okay. So I would recommend that we declare the items on these two lists as surplus.
All right, during the recommendation of the superintendent, I have a motion that we accept that recommendation.
So moved. Or second.
I got a motion and a second here somewhere.
Motion and a second and a motion.
Yeah, that's right. Any other questions? Have I got any concerns? Anybody want to put in a bid? Get 25 Chromebooks if you want one. All those in favor, signify with up to the hand. Thank you very much. Okay.
And then approve our 25-26 school calendar. Again, Dr. Hicks mentioned we submitted 2 options for our staff to select, and over 70% of the vote went to this particular calendar. It is very similar, if not exactly the same as pretty much what we have this year. You will notice the first day of school for students would be August 1st on Friday, and then we will have first day of pre-planning on Friday, July 25th, followed by the next 4 days prior to that first day of school for bringing students. So 5 days pre-planning and 3 days post-planning. We've got a couple of planning days sprinkled at the end of pretty much each grading period. I think is how we have had this. A little bit of difference from what we have this year, but most similarities, I think, to what we've had, and it seems to be what was most favored by over 70% of the folks. So I'd like to recommend this calendar be approved.
Okay, we have the recommendation of the superintendent on the school calendar as presented. Does anybody make a motion that we adopt it?
Motion.
Have a motion and a second. Now, is there any questions or concerns about this calendar? Get your work day. All right. Hearing none, all those in favor signify with the hand. Thank you. All right, the resolution for the referendum.
All right, Kim, I'm going to turn it over to you and let you provide some updated information here before I make this into the form of a recommendation.
Sure. What you have before you is your authorization for us to pursue the vote to occur in March. And this resolution just lays out, just like all the other ones, as far as the type of expenditures that could be applied towards the SPLOSH proceeds, which, like I said, majority of it falls in the fact of like capital building, expansion, renovation, modification, as well as any new facility construction, and also things like technology equipment, vehicles, we bought the ag truck, you remember, those type of expenses, as well as paying for any debt. So this gives us the flexibility to pay for not only physical, but then also debt related to the physical assets themselves. Like I mentioned, the cap is 200 million versus the prior was 100. It's obviously well exorbitant than what we believe we will actually collect. But you know, just kind of setting it so high that we don't have to go back out and revote before the 5-year period, is the main intent of that. But this referendum does include only Jefferson, but as well as Jackson and Commerce City as well.
All right, I notice you have in here that payment on certain bonds, but it doesn't go to the anticipated.
It has the existing PBA debt, but the new PBA debt is installment sales agreement, and the capital light project, whether it's building or expanding, allows us the ability to pay it in those categories. We don't have to spell it. We won't have to spell it out in that area.
So not only would it be used to build, but pay for what we build.
That's right. So the money we finance to pay for the capital light projects can be paid for out of SPLOST.
The total amount from 100 million to 200 million for all three systems.
For all three systems, yes, sir. And like Jefferson's number went from 27.2 to 49.4. So that's 49.4 is our share if you were to hit the $200 million cap. So we probably won't be there. We'll probably be somewhere in the, I would say, 30 million, you know, low 30s. Anyway.
And this is for an additional 5 years.
5 years, yes. And this will not go into effect until our current one expires or reaches the cap. So this will not roll over until
sometime next year.
Probably like July 2026 is when I'm anticipating it. So, and the distribution is based off the FTE count. So all three school systems, we use this past October 24 FTE count, and then that's how those numbers are divided up.
Okay. Have a motion that we enter into the resolution calling for the election for a 1% sales tax continuation. It's not a new tax, it's a continuation of the existing tax. Have a motion.
So moved.
Okay. And a second. Okay, now any other questions?
Do we know if the chamber is going to get information out to the community?
Yes,
and start working
I
on
think
that?
Joe Hicks and Jim Shaw are supposed to be helping us with this. Mm-hmm.
Because I think this is one of the squirreliest things that we're involved in, because we are not supposed to be able to do that ourselves, but yet we're the ones that are calling for the election. So anyway.
So we'll be providing them information.
This information, we can invite.
We can provide information, but we just can't request,
Yeah.
go vote. But we can advise, just like we advise our staff, everything that's paid for in the buildings. So the biggest thing they probably use every day is technology. That's the numero uno, in addition to the 4 walls or buses. So there's, those things are helpful too. Because if we didn't have it, we had to then divert those expenditures into our general fund, then it's just borne on the back of all the property owners. So SPLOST is helpful, that it allows people who drive through Jackson County, going to a UGA game and stop and, buy supplies and so forth, or anybody for that matter. It's just helpful to kind of divert those taxes and utilize them for support of our staff and students.
And what a lot of people don't realize, it's not just money spent here in Jefferson, it's the whole Jackson County. It goes into a pot, then it's divided up, but as you mentioned on the FTE count. Okay, any other questions? Have a motion and a second. All those in favor, signify by. Thank you very much. And those are for you to sign.
That's the last action item. Yes.
Okay. So next would be, I'd like to go to the principals first. Let's talk to Miss Knight back there first about I was in most of my days are spent going to the doctor's office. So I was in one the other day, and the lady saw my wristband. She said, "Oh, is that from Jefferson?" I said, "Yes." She said, "My daughter goes to Jefferson." And I said, "Really?" She said, "Yeah, I'm in the middle. She's in the middle school. We really love it over there."
Aw.
That's what I told her. I said, sometimes we can't be all things to all people. So, but we like to hear the good stories.
We have lots going on and lots of good things, just trying to get back into the swing of things, and it's been a little bit difficult. I walked through the hallways and there are lots of smiles when we came back this week, but there are some sleepy little faces in class that are struggling a little bit. But it was fun to see them. We had a couple basketball games this week, and went over. Dr. Benson was training some subs, so it's good to meet the new subs this week, and we have we have Ms. Neely coming to talk with our teachers next week, and that's been good with some literacy things, and honor course is going on, and district honor band is going on, and meeting and talking about kids and looking at our MAP scores and what we can do to help support some of our struggling learners and how to move some of our gifted learners and see where we can make it. Lots of good things.
Great. Thank you very much. Right. Ms. Joyner, let's talk about the elementary school.
Well, I was just thinking ours is a lot similar, except for we don't have basketball games. So we had some sleepy faces, and we spent Monday, we were thankful for work day, so we could meet with teachers, take a look at data, adjust some things for instruction, and get kids what they need in the classroom. And we are, of course, just trying to get them in. Most of them are happy, some of them have a few tears right now, so get them back in the swing, and we're preparing for an author visit next week. So we have some things going on during our media specials, and we have an evening that parents can come to a literacy night. So we're excited about that.
Very good. All right. Ms. Ferguson, how about the academy?
Yes, very similar to the elementary school as far as teachers just digging into data right before Christmas break. We met with all of our grade levels to look at the growth, and every grade level sat down together and made some goals for the semester, and we are excited to jump right into that. We also completed gifted testing right before Christmas break so that we could implement those new groups starting. They're going to actually start on Monday. We had to open up a new gifted pull-out segment for each grade. So that's exciting. We also have been completing the dyslexia screener for third grade. I have that going on at the elementary school as well. So just lots of information that we're able to gather on those kids. We had a third grade musical scheduled for tomorrow night. But that is going to be rescheduled later this month, as well as the system-wide spelling bee. It's going to be tomorrow, but we've already got something else in the works for that later this month to make sure we get those things taken care of.
Great. Ms. Beckwith, I saw that the pre-K has got an enrollment. What else is going on over there with the real little ones?
We're gearing up for registration. We're going to extend the window to some areas. Other cases in the area have opened their registration earlier, so we respond to in kind. Just getting the word out, getting it on Facebook and in the newsletter and in the newspaper and on the sign out front. So we're excited about our open house day where we can invite next year's pre-Kers in, and we have bouncy houses and snacks and crafts and fun. Will be February 8th, and that has grown every year, and it's been a big hit with our parents. We get to meet the teachers and see the rooms, and so just getting ready to fill that pre-K up for next year while we're keeping an eye on helping these little babies this year get ready for kindergarten.
I hear it. Great. Thank you. Ms. Hardy, have you gotten over your jet lag yet?
No, sir. So thank you for tomorrow. I'm afraid for tomorrow. Yes, it was a great trip. Glad that Mr. Colton didn't embarrass me because Mr. Pace asked me to do the tambourine, and it's a good thing.
I saw that.
I saw you tapping it.
Yeah, well, it wasn't right. Mr. Pace was like, "Do you think I'm a..." It was a little embarrassing, but I managed to get through it. But anyway, and actually, when he was talking about the kid having to go to the bathroom in the middle of it, another kid was supposed to get the tambourine for the big performance, but Judy didn't know. So I'm going to go there.
You won't be
play it next time. That's good.
Well, I saw on another post on Facebook, it was showing, I think, marching into when they did one of the performances. I said, where's Miss? Oh, there she is. I said, she's got a tambourine in there.
Yes, and Dr. Faison was like, I can prove the quadratic formula. I
was thinking they made you play an instrument, because they maybe said people only on the thing could have to be playing an instrument or doing something like that. Maybe they told her she had to carry something.
Well, I did go around and beg for a tuba mouthpiece that one did. One of our kids did pack it, and Jenny was on a mission of begging for one, and a college kid from Virginia actually packed an extra one. And I said, I'm Venmoing you money. And he said, no, ma'am, we'll just get it back. And I said, oh, yes, I'm Venmoing you. You can have a Venmo me. And so that kid is really great. So our kid was very, he was, I mean, actually the middle school. He was
very good.
Yeah, started crying. So then the tambourine, I think, was okay. So
she told that. Take the tension off the tambourine.
Yes.
You're right. It was actually kind of embarrassing, but I rolled with it.
Did a good job.
Exactly.
I'll go back to every time we had a trip in the high school. Dr. Smith, when he was here, he'd say, we'll wait 2 weeks to see what comes out on the internet to see how it really went. So hopefully it'll be right. All right, what else is happening?
Well, we finished that first semester, and that was milestones and final exams, and so we started a new semester with new teachers, so it's like a brand new first day of school. So our kids are actually excited because it's new teachers and new classes, and I love watching the lunch at that point, trying to find friends and seats, and it's like a herd of cattle right there, But everything's great. We're trying to get 317 seniors ready for graduation. We got 2 enrolling soon, so it's got a bunch of them. We got Dell Alexander coming soon to a money talk next Wednesday. Right? Next week. So
That's a great presentation.
Who's that?
It's Dale Alexander. He's our insurance broker that does our benefits for us. And he's been coming for the past probably 4 years. He's written a book called The Talk. His mission is basically to provide financial literacy education to high school seniors, exiting the, real world and like what's money about, how to manage your money. But it's phenomenal. And it's really, for me, sitting there, like, watching these kids, they're really engaged in hearing what he's telling them, as far as how to manage their money and ways to think about it and how they can set themselves up for success by habits and things that they do today, versus digging themselves out of tomorrow. What can they do today to prepare themselves?
Get ahead.
First was hairdressers. Gosh, I think seniors just respectful, but they love it. They ask great questions. They get very involved.
Very good. Thank you. And my wife is going to be buzzing me in just a minute. So I'm missing the ball game, so I got to hurry. Yeah. All right, Dr. Metzger, everything going well with you?
Great. A couple things to share. Next Thursday is our first Best Mentors. That's for our high school students who are mentoring those specific elementary school students. That's our first morning next Thursday. We met with them once. We're supposed to meet with them tomorrow. We'll move that to next week. That's why we'll help with that. We'll move that here Monday. We're so excited about that. That's one. 2, just wanted to share. I know that Ms. Beckler puts her time to play with those young ones at the STEAM Center. I was talking with Ms. Allison Frazier, who knows all over our community. And just so you know, between now and the end of the school year as a department, we have 36 evaluations. That's not anything to be concerned about or anything. But out of those 36, 15 of those are 3 and 4 year olds.
Oh wow!
And some of those 3 and 4 year olds have been to time to play, and we've been able to identify them and capture them and develop relationships with those families. So that just shows the significance, just one part of the significance of this time to play. So we are very excited about it.
How did the field trip go that you had?
I talked with Ms. Coley about that yesterday. You may have helped me with things that they got to do everything on their list. Actually, they did so much that those kids slept like 13 hours. Like, they were so tired when they got back. I mean, the trip was amazing. From what I hear, they did an escape room, and they've never seen kids so engaged in just the fun. I mean, they made it fun, I know, but just how fun the escape room was. They did the aquarium, eating out. They even something as simple as the breakfast at the hotel was a great experience for all of them. They absolutely loved it. So I got to talk to Ms. Coley and Mr. Matson about it yesterday. I don't know if you want to add anything, but I do thank Ms. Hardy and y'all so much for making that happen. That is an incredible experience that I can honestly say I don't know where else students get that experience. I don't think they do. And ours are so fortunate.
Very good. I saw Chuck Cook during the break, and was when we were in Atlanta. And I told him about that, and he thought that was a great thing.
He started with him.
Started
with him.
Start calling that the Chuck Cook
Yeah, that's right.
trip. Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
You want to be a sponsor?
And some of your middle schoolers did Christmas lights, right?
Yes,
Was
Matt
that-
Stevenson took them.
That was so
That's
neat.
the sweet.
They rode around and looked at the lights and went back to Miss Neely's house and had hot cocoa and just had
That is
really special.
And I mean, you had the same thing at the high school went to Jefferson Church. Jefferson Church, you know, whole big thing for their families over Christmas. It was a huge morning into the afternoon. At the Jefferson Church was open up the church and decorating, and made it a super fun experience.
Very good. That's great things to hear going on. Okay. Ms. Hicks, how about, are we having something to eat?
We are having lots of really good warm food to eat.
That would be a good time to have it.
Really cold weather. Jefferson City's nutrition is doing very well. We started off the new year with a bang. We are right in our administrative review, which is a state audit of the care program. So things are going well, but I'm very stressed. But that's taking place at the elementary school. So right now they're doing their offsite, which is essentially where I'm coordinating with the state reviewers, and they're asking a bunch of questions about the program, and they'll come on site in February. So very excited. Yeah, it's good. We have some good hot food, as I mentioned earlier, and our cafeteria ladies continue to do very well. They're led by some exceptional managers, and we're very excited to be back to the wonderful kids.
Very good. Thank you. Anybody else have anything? Mr. Parker, we got you covered a minute ago.
We just got to spend money now, right?
Get that fellow's home address.
Mr. Chairman.
We got CTA month coming up next month, and so that's what we're getting ready for.
It's Law Officer Appreciation Day, isn't it? Well, could we have her introduce yourself?
Officer Jasmine Fowler, I am the SRO.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you, Daddy. All right. There's nothing else. We need a
5 minutes.
5
I
minutes.
know you have to go.
I have to go.
So we just, we can clear out and get started with it in 5 minutes.
All right, thank you. Could I have a motion? We're going into executive session.
So moved.
All in favor? Got it.
Yeah.
Oh, he started doing that? There he does it. How's he doing? I haven't seen him since what, football season 2 years ago. You'll pass that down.
Well, you choose any time, but
Is
then
that
you should keep a little smile around.